Okay, I think we are live. How's it going, everybody? Give a couple seconds for okay, I think we are live for people to join. Going, everybody? Get this set up over here. Give a couple seconds for okay. All right, so this is our second ever live stream. So, welcome everybody. All right, I'm going to go ahead and link this. Oops. Okay. All right, sorry for the delay here, guys. Just getting stuff set up. I'm gonna go ahead and pin that. Okay, perfect. All right, so we got anybody here? Anybody? Don't think so. I'm gonna wait a couple more minutes here. But if you're tuning in later, awesome. So what we're doing is we are looking at the power hour has already gone, been there, gone, and it's 9:30 to 10:30. And so, but we are we're actively looking at an Apple trade that's signaled, and so this is an Apple trade that broke. So I was watching this yesterday. I was watching this level, and it broke this level yesterday evening, and we got a morning, or no, not yesterday evening, this morning. We broke it this morning, and so we're actively watching this possible sell, or actually already is triggered. So it already triggered the sell on Apple. All right, so I'm gonna shoot this over here real quick as well. That's the wrong. Is that the wrong link? I think the title's wrong. All right, yeah, we are 328. Okay, so I'm just learning some stuff here. I think my title is wrong today, which is fine. Can I edit that? Don't think so. Edit. 328. Okay, I think that should work. All right, but if you're just now tuning in, I'm starting to actually build a hit list for this as well. It's our power hour indicator, and I've been telling you guys about it for a couple days now. It's been out. We've had it for a while now, but I really just use it on Nvidia, just because it worked really well. I really tightened it up with Nvidia, but then I realized that this thing is just really powerful on other tickers, and so I kind of gave a default settings for some other tickers, and I released it. So if you want to try this out, it's going to be in the pinned the pinned description, or in the pinned chat. So I just felt like I should go live here real quick, just to kind of show you some different trades that we actually were in. We were actually in this one yesterday. So this was a loss so far. So the rule is this evening, if Tesla continues to go down or go sideways or wherever it ends up, we'll exit that trade. There was a good one that we got some reports about Baba. I think it was Baba and Amazon. Really good trades. We had somebody take this yesterday, and in fact, we just got an Amazon trade today as well. So that's back to back nice trades. Really nice trades this morning. So, but yeah, I'm actually watching this Apple trade because it broke this key level, and it is looking like it's continuing to possibly go down here. So real interesting. If you guys are just now tuning in, I see we got a few more guys. Make sure you just throw a little chat in there. I appreciate it. Just make sure everybody's can hear me. Everything's good to go. I believe it is, but you just never know. But yeah, I think the title was wrong. I believe I fixed it though. It was yesterday's date. Let me see if it actually changed. Yeah, 328. So we're good now. But yeah, we are looking at Apple, and we got an alert here. So this was 10:30, and this is starting to look like a really good trade so far. This is a little down move here. Yeah, fair. What is this? A fair, possibly a what do you call that? A fair value gap. This could actually be a pretty interesting level if it breaks this. So we'll keep an eye on this. So this is what's probably going to happen. Is Apple's going to bounce off of this. If it breaks this, it's gonna continue downwards for sure. Well, not for sure. Nothing's for sure. But if it breaks this, that's a good. This could be a good trade. So far, so good. So this would have been the entry up here, 219 or 220. But if it breaks this level right here, look out below. Because you can see that right here, how it just rocketed up, stalled, and then came back down. Another one, a rocket, it actually broke it finally, and then came back and retested this level. So this is a really important level here. 219. Let's just go a round number there. Yeah, probably 219 is where a lot of folks are watching this. And so what's happening here, most likely what's happening here is that there is a lot of people right now that have a potential trade that's looking something like this, right? And so what it is the market makers know this. They know that there's a lot of people watching this 219 level. So what they'll do is they'll probably they could bring this down here. They could actually touch it. What they could also do is they'll touch it, and then they could even bring it up a little bit to get people excited, and then just and just come down. And this, say someone has their stop loss right here. There's a lot of stop losses right there. They'll just take those guys out. So there's probably a lot of things right here, a lot of entries, stop losses, things like that. What you'll find sometimes is that the price right now, it'll just come down, it'll sweep it and it'll just stop everybody out, and then it could continue to go up here. So really what we would look for is to get down to our line here, to do something like that where it'll come down to our target line there and then bounce. But I could see this. I could definitely see this if it comes back down here to this level, where it'll just it'll do something like that. And then if it does break it, I could definitely see a nice move. Something maybe not as drastic as this candle. I mean, we are here on the 10-minute chart, so but it could definitely be a nice move, possibly to our target here. This is a Friday trade, so with the morning power hour. So I'm actually starting to build a hit list. But with the morning power hour, I usually do a 7 days out. It would be like an options a call put. So it is a little bit longer over the weekend, and so typically if I'm close, this is exceptions to the rules, which I know people don't love. But if it's a weekend trade, if it's not, if it's something like this where it's real quick, I would typically, if it's near my take profit, I'm just going to grab that profit. Because, you never know what'll happen over the weekend. There could be some just major news. And also Apple is down. Apple is already down a lot today. So this is going to be tough for it to come back down here. I think what's going to happen probably with this trade is that, like I said, we're just going to keep bouncing off this today. But if it breaks it, that's going to be a nice trade. So keep that in mind if you do grab this trade. I'm not all that confident that it's going to continue to the downside here, because it's already almost 2%. But, crazier things have happened in these markets. So that's that trade. If you guys were here yesterday, we did take this one. This one was up. Tesla was up, but, down today, which is all right. Which is nice because we just get out today. Dollar General had some good trades. This is why I added this to my hit list. 2 good trades in a row. And so basically what this is an entry. So this right here, this is entry. So this is entry 1. This is buy entry 2. And then this is take profit 1. And then that's your second take profit there. And then we actually got another entry. This one is to the downside. So this is actually a sell today. So, but yeah, if we have anybody in here, if anybody's here at all, again, this is very new. We had some folks show up yesterday. But if you're in here and you throw a little thing in the chat to say hi, appreciate it. Just so I know everybody can hear and everything like that. I believe everything is good to go. So, but it's always good to double confirmation. Bitrate lower than the recommended bitrate. We recommend that you. Oh, okay. So it's giving me some suggestions. Again, this is still relatively new, so I'm trying to get the best stream, get the best thing as possible. I can actually crank up this bit rate, I believe. Stream. I might have to. I might have to work on that, but because I don't see where. Peter, how's it going, Peter? And if you guys, you probably came from here, but if you're not following our Telegram, make sure you do that, because we actually have some really good stuff going on. We actually have some really good, this is about oil. We'll do some, so there's the live trade, but we actually have a lot of good, just stuff that you don't normally find. I mean, you can find it out there, but this is some really good information, stuff about Google, and just really just stuff that's important to the markets. We'll do some trade ideas. This is actually an Ethereum, a trade idea on Ethereum. And then we just have we have stock of the day. We have a lot of good stuff over there. But yeah, if you want to join the Telegram, make sure you do that. So actually, I'll drop the link in the chat as well. Yeah, this is our free Telegram. So it's completely free. And we actually have a lot of good stuff in here. So yeah, go ahead and make sure you do that. So we are still, let me go back to Apple. Let's see how our Apple trade's doing. Yeah, Apple's, I don't really expect Apple to fall much more than it did today. But we did get a trade on Apple. I didn't take this. I was looking at it. We actually haven't had an Apple trade on this since the 19th. And this was a pretty nice drive up. It didn't quite move well with it. This was a really nice sell trade with the indicator. But yeah, I mean, we did have a nice, let's look at the S&P 500, the SPY. Oh yeah, we did get a signal on SPY this morning. I missed it. So here's the SPY. And this right at the very start of the day at 9:30, we got a sell trade. And then boom, it hit target at 10:10. So really nice. I should have been watching this. That's what happens when you got 1,000 different things that you're working on. You miss some trades. And so that's all right. And that's why also having alerts is really important. And I should listen to myself. So I need to get some alerts going on here. And really it's nice because the indicator, you can set your own alerts, buy signal, sell signal. So I would have got that. And, probably could put this in a Telegram at some point. But yeah, if you're interested in this indicator, I got it in the pin message. We are actively, this is available right now. And so you can trade with this right now. You could have got this trade this morning. You wouldn't have missed it like me. But what we do is we take a 7-day option, 7 to 10 day out. And as soon as we get this signal, we take it. So this would have been a put, and this would have been a really nice trade. So, what did this do? So this looks like it's bouncing off some of this stuff right here. So yeah, again, I think S&P also, we'll start to see, we'll probably see that today. I don't know how much more this will go as well. And so you can see everything up here. A lot of our stuff that we're watching, it's all negative. And so we have another negative day. We can actually even look at the heat map. And so, ouch, wow, a lot of red going on today. Anything up? Nothing's up. Wells Fargo. Yeah, everything's pretty much down today. A lot of these main, tech, electronic finance, health seems to be doing okay. Still down a lot. Consumer, so like KO, yeah, these are up pretty good. We're about flat. I shouldn't say up pretty good, but energy has been crushing it. Energy's been doing really good. Let's look at something like Exxon. Oh yeah, sell signal this morning on Exxon. See what this thing's been doing with the power hour. Not bad. So there's a buy. This one was a loss. This was wow. It gets a lot of signals. Wow. gets a lot of signals with the XOM. And I have a love-hate relationship with this, mostly a hate relationship with this stock. Really good trade there. This thing just goes sideways. It has been going up though, so yeah, not bad. I mean, I don't know if I would be completely interested in this with the power hour, but that's what I love about something like this, because you can find, if you guys have any what's the indicator? This is called the power hour. And I have a link in the description, or in the pinned comment, I should say. And if you need some explanation, I just did a video on this indicator, by the way. So if you guys want to check that out, it's a future predictor, which is pretty cool. Let me go back to my Apple chart. Or now I was here. So essentially what the power hour does is there is a time window. So from 9:30, so this is the 9:30 start this morning. So from 9:30 until 10:30, these are 10-minute candles. So we use this on the 10-minute chart. And so if there's an active signal, we'll get a little thing above the candle here. Let me delete this. But you'll see this. You'll see the big, this big red vertical line as well. And that is a trade. That is a signal. And what we'll do is we'll take a put in that spot, and then the goal would be to get down to this line, and basically we do 7 to 10 days out. So 7 to 10 options. OPT. We'll go OPT. And so today would have been a put. Again, I think the markets have already, we're down 1.75% today already. Some decent volume, 13 million. I'm looking at this. What I would be mainly interested in, if you would take this put position, I would definitely close it out at the end of the day, just because it's going to be a weekend. It would have to be a weekend trade, unless you go a little farther out. But I see a lot of stuff here that it's going to bounce off of. But if it does break this today, it could do something like this, where it's like I said, it's going to stop a lot of people out. Because a lot of people right now watching this just like us. They're watching this, and they're watching this level. Why is that so big? They're watching this level right here, and they got their buy positions ready. So they're all going to buy right here, right? They all got their buy positions. They're ready for this to rocket back up. And so what will end up happening is price will come down here, and then it'll kind of do a little sideways thing, and then just boom, just go straight down, take everybody's stop losses, and then maybe go sideways or maybe go back up. So that could happen. It doesn't always happen, but it happens a lot, where especially a key level like this on a day like today, you just never know. There's a lot of folks will, if they have a thing in mind where they're saying, okay, I'm a bull today, no matter what happens, even if this thing goes to -5, they're just going to continue to just say I'm a bull, right? And then it'll just getting crushed. And so again, I'm speaking from experience as well, because that does happen. So you gotta keep your mental in check. Let's see what this interesting indicator. Oh yeah, look, so they're kind of predicting the same deal. So this is a pretty cool tool. I just did a video on this. It's called the Next Pivot, and it's a pretty cool it's a future predictor. It's completely free. It's just called Next Pivot on TradingView. I found it pretty fascinating. I would prefer it on the higher time frames. But this is looking pretty interesting, because it could potentially break this. I would say it would be a little more drastic than this though. But the thing about this though is that it is, you want to talk about repainting, this thing is a painter. So this candle, it'll look like this candle, and then if you take it off and you put it back on, it'll look completely different. So you can't just rely on it. It's cool to, like, say right now, if we didn't mess with this chart at all, to just keep it like this. But it's gonna continually repaint, so it's not gonna be as that's not something that you would want to have on your chart all the time. But like I said in the video, on the daily chart, it's pretty cool just to kind of get an overview of what it could potentially do. Hi, I don't know your name. I can't read that, but welcome to the stream. Appreciate you joining. We got anybody? So we got 5 people today, so that's cool. Appreciate every single one of you guys joining in. Again, this is our second ever live stream, and so I'm just kind of testing the waters over here on YouTube. I've done a few things on Zoom and things like that, but I've been really wanting to because I know YouTube is very popular, and I know there's a lot of you guys on here, and so I think that it's a good opportunity. So I'm testing the waters. So appreciate you guys joining. If I continue to get more people joining this, I'll definitely be welcome to do it more and more. But I think this format with looking at this morning power, the trading with the morning power hour, I think is a good start, and I think we could definitely, I think we definitely do well. You can see here, Apple is starting to come down. I'd be interested when it does hit this line, what will happen. Let's look at some other trades. Tesla's not really doing much. Amazon had a really good trade this morning. So again, I started a little bit late, so I do apologize. We could have grabbed this trade, but this was a signal. So this was a signal right here on Amazon on this candle, and it came down to our target line. So really good trade. Very just that. So if obviously pattern day trading, you have to keep that in mind. So if you have a smaller account, but again, you're not taking you're probably not going to be taking, probably 3 in a month, in a week would be a good week, because we don't get a signal every single day. But that's why building a hit list would be really good. But we had 2 really good trades today with this. Let's put those side by side. So on the S&P and Amazon, AMZN. So 2 really good trades with the power hour. So these are both, these were both right here. So we really don't, I could share more about our stop loss strategy, but let's just do this for now. So this is the trade. This is the trade. So basically that. So that was our trades today. Again, I didn't take these. I wasn't watching the charts, and I didn't have my alert set up. But yeah, these were two really good trades. Essentially, with our stop loss, we wait for 2 days, and so we really don't have a specific stop loss, especially because we're doing options. I know a lot of if you're Forex and things like that, you might like freak out about that, but unless if there's just an absolute drastic move to the other side, typically these positions are okay. I've tested it; it's done really well with NVIDIA, and so. But again, we have to keep that in mind with every single stock that you are trading. So don't just come into this. If you do grab this indicator, I would definitely say to definitely test it on your whatever ticker you're trading. Bitcoin. I'll check this out on Bitcoin. So there was a really good move. I'm surprised it actually didn't get a trade today, but it does work on Bitcoin. So, but you can see how it's interesting how, even with Forex and everything, this was the start of, the New York session. And, you could see that Bitcoin is really starting to, because let's go over here let's actually compare to the S&P. And you can start to see how Bitcoin is aligning itself with the markets. And again, it's not going to be every time, but when there's a big sell-off like this, you're starting to see Bitcoin, do it as well. So that's interesting to see that. We're down here on the 10-minute chart too. I don't love only looking at 10-minute charts. I do like going up to dailies. I think Bitcoin is in it's in a pretty interesting spot right now. It continues to respect this line. I was watching this earlier, but it continues to respect this line right here and just bounce off of it. So if this continues to bounce, it's probably going to come down to where was that? Yeah, this area right here. So 73. So buckle up if you are holding this. But I think if this can break, so a bull outlook here, basically, if this can break this line right here and confirm, it needs to confirm it. It can't just break it and do something like this where it's a strong wick. But I think that, if Bitcoin can break up to the upside and confirm for a couple candles, it could have a chance to find some legs and go back to the upside. So that is my 2 cents on Bitcoin. But yeah, no trades on it. See if there's anything with Ethereum. No, nothing with Ethereum. What about Solana? Yeah, so not too much with crypto today with the power hour. Let's go back to our Apple trade. So yeah, so here was our Apple trade this morning. So this one already was a win. So basically, you'd be out of this S&P trade, still in this Apple trade, be out of the S&P trade, and really nice trade, really good. This was 1, 2, 3, 4. This is like 40 minutes. So right at the start of the day, it basically just sold off. And then this was our exit right there. So this was the trade. So really nice trade though. But yeah, if you guys are interested in this at all, again, remember, I'll keep reminding you to just if there's a pinned message, you can learn more how this works and everything like that. We had some guys, or we had somebody chime in that said they did really good on I think it was Alibaba. Did really good on this trade yesterday. So great job if you're in here. This was a nice trade. Today we actually got a sell signal. So check that out. So that's pretty interesting. Didn't quite hit target. So came back up. So Baba is working its way back up. NASDAQ. The Nas. Oh, I cannot spell. Wow, big time sell off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't love that. If you're looking, so here we go. So this is what I see with NASDAQ because you were asking about that. Yeah, I'm seeing a little bit of support down here. There is a little bit, and again, we're on the 10-minute chart. Let's look at the daily. Um, 3 days in a row, big sell, big time sells today. 3 days in a row. So if it got to hold this, level. Got to hold it. Oh, we can even look at yeah, it's the same deal. Yeah, if you guys have any specific tickers you want me to check out, drop in the chat. I can throw it on the chart here. I mean, I could put any ticker, I could put anything in here you guys want to see if this thing works. We got Forex, crypto, futures, stocks, indices, bonds, meme coins. Could probably do some meme coins. Fart coin. See if we can find. I don't know what any of these are. Is this a meme coin? Yeah, this ain't, I mean, it's not gonna. I don't know. I don't know if meme coins follow. I don't know. I wouldn't specifically just get this indicator just for a meme coin trade, but it is, it's always interesting because this is a really important time of the day. A lot of stuff is moving in the morning hour, and so if people, like I said with Bitcoin, if obviously if Bitcoin's going to sell off, well, meme coin is going to do the same thing, and when Bitcoin is selling off with the markets, everything kind of just, it's like a trickle down effect. QFIN. So it looks like it did get a signal on QFIN. So whatever this stock is, actually that would have been a really good trade today. So this was this would have been a signal at 46.40. Well, whatever this candle is, this is a 10-minute candle, so you can get it as soon as you get the signal, or wait for the confirmation for the next one. So let's just go for simplicity's sake. 46.35 came all the way down here to 45. So it was a nice sell trade. And then a buy trade, it happened on the 26th, so 2 days ago. So nice trade here. So back-to-back winners. Any others? This stock actually looks like it moves a lot in the morning, which is really good for the strategy. Yeah, there's another winner. It's really good for this type of indicator, or this type of strategy, I should say. So this was a sideways move this day, but then it confirmationed the next day. So this would have been a sell right here, and then did a little sideways action. And our rules is that we can do a maximum of 2 days. So this is the first day, the second day, and it actually closed out the next day. You would have closed it out the next day, essentially. Let's see, 3 in a row. This would have been so here's a loser right here. So this would have been a signal sideways, and then it just, you would have got out right there for, yeah, it would have been I don't know what that would have been with the option, but it would have been a loss for sure. But yeah, so QFIN, who knew? I never actually heard of this stock. I don't know what they do. They're a tech company, it looks like. In the finance sector. I might need a translate, because I don't know Brazil POA. Yeah, I'm sorry if I can't translate that. I wonder if, I'm surprised Google doesn't actually translate that for me. But sorry if I don't know what you're typing there, but if you could type it in English. What's the cost of power hour? It is $2.97. So $2.97 one time, and then that's basically the idea is that, because we don't do monthlies, we don't do weeklies, we don't do yearlies, we don't do every 5-year prices, just because I think that just the one-time investment is definitely it helps us out. It covers the costs. We work on these indicators all the time, so we have a lot of dev costs and just different types of different costs and things like that. So $2.97 is pretty much the lowest we got right now. There is a chance that we could run a sell on it at some point, but right now that is the price of it. But if that's too steep, that's okay. I don't want anybody to just go in debt just because they want an indicator. So, and I know there's a lot of folks out there that are pretty against buying indicators, which again, it's fine if you can't. That's not something you want to do. We actually have a few free indicators on our profile. If you come here to TradingView under scripts, we actually have a few free ones that people love. So people are really liking this trend zone, and our red and green zone reversal pretty good. So we have other systems. There's other systems out there that we have for free, but this is just more of a premium type thing. We spend a lot of hours and a lot of costs on this particular algorithm that signals this, and so we have to do that. So this is look what I'm seeing here. I drew this earlier. So we are sneaking up on this line. So this is a trade, this Apple trade right here. If it breaks this line, I think this is going to be a big move to the downside here. I mean, it's already down 2%. So, but again, in these markets right now, 2% is really nothing. It could easily go down to 4. But it's still, it will probably continue to just bounce off of this is probably what I would think here, do something like that. But this will be a big deal if it breaks this 219. And the reason I say that, I talked about this earlier. If we zoom out a little bit, we actually had 2, and it didn't quite get up here, but we can even have it more of like 218, but I think 219, there's a lot of people looking at that exact price. But there was a lot of stuff. So basically when it came up here, it just went straight down. And then this Friday, the March 21st, it came up here, pierced it. And then the next day it actually, broke it and came all the way up here to 221. And then came all the way back down here to 218. So, I mean, this is a really important level. It bounced off it, then it just went up. So yeah, this is a level that, a zone, we should say. You can even say that, a zone that people are watching. There's a lot of buy orders. Like I said, a lot of buy orders here. So what the markets typically will want to do is they'll want to stop those guys out and then maybe come back up. Which would be good for us because this is our target down here. But again, I'm not in this trade. I'm not interested in taking it right now either. It's just Friday. Fridays are interesting. I mean, you could definitely trade on Fridays. But when a strategy like this, I like to, unless if I get it right at the time, right at the price, I'm not going to be taking it. So. All right, let me check this out. Bottom right. Raise bit rate a little bit there. Let's see if that'll. I think hopefully the stream is all right for you guys. I did raise the bit rate up a little bit though. Give me a warning there. So, but yeah, so I don't want to just sit here all morning, but yeah, we got some tickers. So we got some, folks that threw some tickers in the chat. If you want me to look at anything specifically, let me know. If not, I might get out of here. But basically, the rundown this morning was that we had an Apple trade. I think it was Alibaba had a nice move initially. There was Amazon who had a really nice trade. So this would have been one this morning that we would have taken. Again, I didn't take any of these, just as a disclaimer. And obviously, if you do, obviously there's always a risk that you can lose an entire position. So just a disclaimer out there. And then Tesla's hurting my heart. So I thought we were back to, our bullish cycle here, but we're coming back down. I don't actually even like that, but this is kind of like this is a really large megaphone, if you would say that, but yeah, Tesla's just kind of widening out. There really isn't anything crazy going on here, but it's doing something like that. So we'll see with Tesla. But yeah, no trade this morning on Tesla. There was one yesterday. I actually did take this, so down a little bit. So what I'll do is I'll just close this out. So if it closes up here or here or here or here, just close it out today, and that's the longest we do. So it really isn't that big of a, it's not the whole position, which is nice. Wow, that high, huh? All right, I'm gonna adjust this bit rate a little bit more, which is nice here because we can, let's see, what is the, $6,000. Let's crank this thing up to 6,000. Want you guys to have the best experience possible, right? All right, we cranked it up a little bit. We'll see if that, hopefully it's not laggy or anything like that. All right, so yeah, so that's cool. So yeah, if you guys have any other questions, let me know. If not, I'm gonna get out of here. But I appreciate everybody jumping in to this morning's stream. I'll try to get in here a little bit earlier, especially for trading the morning power hour. We missed a couple of these. Not a lot of crazy stuff happening as far as going to the upside goes. A lot of downside stuff happening right now in the market. So anything particular here stands out. I'm just kind of just looking. Yeah, a lot of big moves. That's 4% on Netflix. Health isn't doing all that bad. But yeah, a lot of red today. The Red Sea. But that's all right because today will be red, tomorrow will be green, or not tomorrow. Monday it could be green. It's the markets. This is 2025. So we got a lot of crazy stuff happening. I mean, this massive just downside move with Walmart. I'm still waiting for Walmart because, right now it is basically we got this and then we got this going on is what we got going on. So, I mean, if we can somehow break this up to the upside here. So we need to break this at 287.80. But if not, it's just going to continue to go sideways, and probably ended up breaking that. So we'll keep an eye on Walmart. I still think that, people are going to continue to go to Walmart, even if with all the tariffs and all the prices and this and like that. Everybody still have to groceries, and yeah, it's been hit pretty hard. Walmart's been hit pretty hard. Thanks. Looking forward to seeing more. Yeah. And we have a lot of system. This is just the one system. This is just the one system that we're looking at. So I just thought this was probably the most interesting, because I just didn't want to get on here and be like, here's an indicator, enjoy. It's like I wanted to actually show some real live trades. And look, Apple was actually, oh no, this is not Apple. I just didn't want to come up here and be like, hey, here's an indicator. Here's a trade from, 2024. Look at what happened at this time. I wanted to show you some real, some real life scenario, real life trades. Again, we nailed a couple yesterday. Amazon, Dollar General, the S&P this morning was a really good trade. Really good trade on the S&P right at 9:30. I wish I actually would have got this. And again, that's just the power of alerts, and I just don't have the alerts right now set up for myself. But what I'll probably do is, just for folks who get the power hour, just in the future, I'll be getting some, we'll have a Telegram. We actually do have a Telegram for our NVIDIA folks. And so what we do, and I would just have to do this with specific tickers, but we get triggers with our NVIDIA. So again, I built this for NVIDIA. I shouldn't say me, but our team, everybody who was working on this, we built it for NVIDIA, just because of these strong morning moves. But I opened it up to basically all tickers out there, and it's been doing really well. Again, I'm still building this hit list. I added Hood just because, it does, Robinhood really goes in the morning. What I want to do is I want to add stocks to my hit list that the stocks that move really good in the mornings, and then continue to just ride that wave. And just like this is why I built this, is because I love to see this. Actually, that was a nice breakout too, but a really good trade there. And it just, just rocketed to the downside. And that's really what this was built for. We want to find morning momentum and just continue to just ride that. And so I added Robinhood to my hit list for sure. I think this one would have been a nice trade if it wasn't such a big gap. I'm actually surprised there wasn't one here though. Yeah, this was a fakey. This was a little fake out. So it does happen. Yeah, there is losses. There's losers. There's losers in every single system. This would have been, there was nothing wrong with this. A big time, it was just, that was a really, it was a big gap. And I think the markets just weren't. This was a Friday too. I don't love Fridays. I really don't. Fridays are a little crazy sometimes. Fridays are good days to just sit back and just watch things happen, because you get stuff like this where, and again, big moves. There are big moves, but it's just you got to be ready for them. And holding over the weekend is, especially with options, if you're doing a 7 to 10 days out, holding over the weekend kind of is just not the greatest either. So. All right, guys. But yeah, so I'm going to get out of here, but I appreciate every single one of you guys joining today. And I will definitely start doing more of these, and I will continue to do more of these. And I appreciate all your feedback. If you give a little quick thumbs up, subscribe, share it. If you know anybody out there that's interested in options trading or stock trading, I'm doing a lot of good education on our channel. You don't just have to just tune into the lives. I'm trying to do some good education on the channel, and I think it's really gonna, help folks out there. Hopefully, it'll help folks out there, kind of learn a thing or two. If you just have one little tidbit that you would just, if I just say one thing, because there's a lot of channels out there where, or there's a lot of educators out there where I watch something and I'm just like, and I remember the one specific thing. Like, I don't remember anything else, but I remember one thing that they said. If I could just get that one thing, I think it'd be worth it. Just something that could save you. Because there's a lot of you're not just fighting the markets, you're fighting yourself. So remember that. That's the quote of the day. You're not fighting the markets, you're fighting yourself. And so that's a big thing with trading. You're always, you see something like this where you're down 5% in one day, like that's a little bit crazy. Or the S&P, you're down this much. Again, if you're in a put position, if you're in a sell position, then you're sitting pretty. But you can definitely get in your own head, and these markets could really knock you around if you're not ready for it. So again, trading isn't for everybody. You can make a lot of money, you can lose a lot of money. But having the right system, the right strategy, the right approach, it's going to get you there. It just takes time. Everything takes time. But yeah, that's why, look at this. We got a lot of, trade of the month, 5 candle. We got our slingshot. There's literally you can have unlimited amount of strategies. Riptide. This is Manny. Manny does some really cool stuff here in Riptide. A lot of good stuff in here that he shares. Our Gould alerts. I think our Gould alert we actually just had. This was our GDX. Where's our GLD? We had a really good, we had a really good trade on GLD. So this was a sell trade. Again, completely different strategy. It doesn't trade, with the morning power hour. Completely different strategy. This isn't morning power hour. This is something else. And good trade there. Really good trade on the ETF GLD. So pretty cool. We have tons and tons of this kind of things. But again, I don't want to overwhelm anybody. And so that's why I just want to focus on one thing at a time. So, all right. So that's it. That'll be it for me. So I'll see you guys in the next stream.